know, it was interesting, like you were talking about teaching stuff in school. He's like, you know what, in English class, they're teaching about Marxism.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like...
Yeah, they're like, they talk about Marxists.
He's in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And then, like, they, like, try to, like... I'm not saying, like, it's, like, racist, but, like, they try to push on you that...
Yeah.
The white were... That the black people were the victims and we are...
Yeah. While you're going through this, try to keep on reminding yourself. Kid here in this video is 14 years old. And he knows more than most adults I talk to about the deep state and what's going on. I mean, polite, asking good questions. I mean, this video could have been another half hour long. Because when I first talked to them, they came back 4 times. They came back 3 to 8 times in one day, this father and son. And the first time I talked to them, I didn't have the cameras on. Don't ask me why. It's one of the rare times I've been put on the cameras, and it turned out to be a great talk, and they stuck around for, I don't know, at least 20 odd minutes, maybe up as much as a half hour. And I was sorry I didn't, turn it on at that time, but they came back twice that day beyond that, and then they came back again the next day. And God bless. I mean, this, if we're going to have a future, it is going to be the fathers and sons that you're going to see in this video. Keep in mind, like how old this is already. This is a month old. We've been in this shutdown for a month. It's insanity. Look how busy the streets were. How many people were out? We were thriving. And then, and this nut bullshit stuff is still going on, because during and over this month, especially over the past couple of weeks, the truth has been coming out about how false this whole thing is. And yet, it's like, what does my jackass mayor do? With all this information coming out, how it's, basically the numbers are fudged, it's bullshit. She extends the lockdown. After the protest in Lansing, Michigan, with the governor there, she comes out and says, well, because of these protests, I may have to extend the lockdown. Yeah, well, I don't want to get into it too much here because this is a long video. But I just hope that the young man in this video is going to be prepared for what's coming. He's certainly a step ahead of a lot of people, but I don't think there's many of us that are quite prepared for what's going to happen. Of course, most of the time the worst never happens, and we can only pray that that's the case this time. Anyway, let's get into this video, because as I said, it's a long one. And basically it's just me blabbing, but it's good. It's a good class. And I hope you enjoy it. And I don't know. You know what to do if you like it. See you on the other side.
Getting crazy everywhere.
Where do you guys feel about this whole thing? Do you think it's
I don't think it would be. I think it's publicized
Mainstream
way
media.
more because of the election. It's making it a lot more. And then don't you think? I mean, they're trying to make Trump look like an idiot.
Someone brought up to me the other day, and then I've seen it a couple of times over in in some publications, that every election cycle it seems like we have a pandemic or something comes out of the blue for scare us to death. Supposed to scare us.
It's not even the people that are. I'm like not more worried about. I'm more worried about the economy than the people.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, what's it going to do to the economy? Because everybody's shutting down everything, and
Stock market's crashing.
But the good news on this is it is a flu. Eventually it's going to wane.
Yeah.
Things will come back. It's not like it's going to be a
Well, like somebody said the other day, once school lets out, you don't have all the kids together. In summertime, everybody gets out and about,
Yeah.
not cooped up inside. It's going to
Yeah.
ease on down a little bit, hopefully. And then hopefully they'll get a vaccination out for it, be like the rest of these flus.
Yeah, but then I don't worry about the vaccination. I'm not so, I worry about those vaccines more than anything else. I mean,
Like, I just look at it. It's like a bad flu, Any kind of flu, the elderly are always at
Yeah.
risk. I mean, the elderly and people with existing conditions are at risk for anything.
Thank you.
I mean,
Thank you. You pretty much echoed what I hear from every medical professional out here. Say it's the same thing. Just treat this like you would any normal flu. Watch yourself, wash your hands, blah, blah, blah.
I mean, everybody's like, people are like, oh, why are you going to New Orleans? There's 20 cases of coronavirus. I'm like, you know what? How many people are here? A million people in the city?
It's a million.
And so 20 people out of a million? I mean,
I know. I know.
it's probably about the same chances of going up in an airplane and going.
Yeah, you have more chance getting to having an accident, an automobile accident, or a solid gold meteorite to land on us right now. We'd all die rich. Don't worry about
I mean,
it.
if everybody just smart, wash their hands, and go about.
Welcome back, guys.
I'm gonna
I
get
wanted to
that.
ask, talk a little more shop with you.
Sure.
Yeah, so do you know about there's like almost like a fraternity in Washington where it's like invite only. Like what is that about? Like,
Well, there are a lot of secret and semi-secret societies that you can look into. The Club of Rome, the Club of the 300 Club, the Council on Foreign Relations. I mean, we can go on and on. These are the true people that rule behind the scenes. So, yeah, there's the deep state. There are plenty of books that you can you just start researching into this. About the book that turned me on to everything was 1972, and you can still get copies of this. I think you can even read it online. It's called None Dare Call It Conspiracy. The book's only about that thick, but it cuts right to the chase of who's behind the scenes, who's running things. And then the Bible of them all is Tragedy and Hope by Carol Quigley, that's 1,500 pages, and that goes through a whole bunch of detail about who's behind the scenes.
What is it?
None Dare Call It Conspiracy.
and then I was wondering about about in California where it's this I think it's 2,700 acre retreat for
Thank you, sir.
really high up Republicans.
Yeah, the Bohemian Grove.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is a place where they do recruiting. In other words, what they'll do is it's a place where a lot of elites go.
A lot of what?
Elites, the elites.
Republicans, right?
Well, yeah, but there is a crossover. But what they'll do is, if let's say you're an up-and-comer, you're new, you've got some support, and they'll invite you. Well, why would you invite you to Bohemian Grove, come to the movies and shakers are? Well, good. Then you get there and you find out that it's basically a gay orgy. I mean, and they got guys running around in clan-looking outfits, and they worship a 40-foot owl named Moloch.
Oh yeah, I know there's like a big old statue.
Yeah. And it's called the Cremation of Care. Alex Jones, it's one of his big things. He snuck in and filmed this thing, you know. And so what they do is you wind up finding yourself there, and it's, you know, it's sort of like, well, what do I do? You know, do I join in? If you don't, you know, what do I do? So it's like and if you go along with the procedure, they got you. That's okay. The whole thing's like, even in a lot of the pedophile networks are behind the powers that be. Let's say you're an up-and-coming journalist, right? You're only cracking the whip, man. You're out there doing stuff. All right, one night you're out celebrating after a good article. Some good-looking woman comes up to you. Oh, I'm a big fan of yours. Do you mind if I have a drink with you? Plop, plop. Next thing you know, you wake up in a motel room with a couple of 6-year-olds. They got pictures of you. They got you. So the whole thing is about blackmail and getting people in to see how far you'll go.
Like, kind of, is it deep state?
Oh yeah.
Because I've seen like pictures of like Ronald Reagan and Richard Nixon in there. Like, is Ronald Reagan, like, people say he was probably the best president ever, but was he really involved?
Well, they'll invite you, and if you don't go along, then you can split. You know, like. Nixon went and he said it was the biggest faggoty thing he's ever seen in his life. You know, so he like, I'm out of here, you know.
Oh, so he wasn't really part of it?
No, he was, you know, he was part of his establishment, but again, you know, different levels. And the more, if you play along, you can be part of it and not even know who's ruling you, who's behind it. You know, because of a lot of it, you know, it gets into the documentary to watch would be Thrive, Thrive. And that pretty much breaks it down real simply. Who's behind it all? Who's rolling it?
Yeah, you showed me a picture earlier of Rothschild and some other guy.
Soros? Who are they? Like,
Soros is a player.
I heard they were like, they basically control everything that bad happens.
Oh yeah, Soros is a big player for the elites. He's like probably second level of in the power structure. The first level of the 13 bloodlines. You don't get in there unless you're born into it.
So it's like a family.
Oh yeah,
family.
Yeah. There's
Rockefeller type people.
Yeah, well, there's.
Isn't Bill Gates in there? Bill Gates.
Well, Bill Gates is definitely part of it. He's part of it. As a book to read, The Bloodlines of the Illuminati.
The Illuminati's involved?
Oh God, yes. I mean, this is following the 13 families that came up out of Egypt, and who ruthlessly grabbed control of all the natural resources, and then from there have been ruling through their bloodlines. Once you start following this, it'll take a lifetime. There are so many rabbit holes and different interconnections with this that it'll just take you over if you want to get into it.
You know, it was interesting, like you were talking about, you're teaching stuff in school. He's like, you know what, in English class, they're teaching about Marxism.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like...
Yeah, they're like, they talk about Marxists.
He's in 8th grade.
Yeah.
And then, like, they, like, try to, like, I'm not saying, like, it's, like, racist, but, like, they try to push on you that the black people were the victims and we're...
Yeah. There is a KGB agent that defected in 58. He's one of the top guys. He came over here, and you can still see his interview on YouTube. He's a 3-hour interview. And he says, our program to take over the Western civilization was not to go to war with you because you're too strong. We couldn't do it. Our program was a 40-year plan. And the first thing we did is we infiltrated your school system, the school boards. We placed our agents on the school boards. And we knew that after a few generations, you'd have a Bernie Sanders running for office.
Like, do you think they're still putting agents in today?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The talk I had with Ben Carson's right-hand man out here, gave me a half-hour interview. And I asked him, why aren't we seeing more movement? Trump's in, you're in, why aren't we seeing more movement? And he goes, because 85% of our government is corrupt to the core. So the deep state, I mean, McCarthy was right. We were infiltrated a long time ago. And they've infiltrated. Look what they are in control of. They're in control of the media. They're in control of Silicon Valley. They're in control of the entertainment industry. They're in control of the educational system. They're in control of all our intelligence agencies. I just had a conversation with a retired FBI agent. Spoke to him and I said, well, excuse me, but, what's going on? Why are we seeing, why aren't there some whistleblowers coming up? Well, they're afraid of losing their retirement. Screw your retirement. Well, country's falling apart. You're worrying about your damn retirement?
It's like it's only a matter of time, when all this starts coming together. This election has just opened up. I mean, I'd heard about it, but after this election process, it's so out there now. Like, if you really pay attention, you can see everything what's happening.
Yeah, it's red pill, blue pill. Once you take that red pill, baby, you ain't going back. You cannot go back to sleep.
It's also for the blue pill too. It's hard for them to convert to red pill.
Well, it's fight or flight when you get exposed to the truth. Like I've talked to a policeman one day out here that was there the day of 9/11, and he sensed there was something wrong. Once I started exposing some of the big anomalies about things, he says, "Look, the things you're telling me are scaring me, because if I believe this, it's pulling the rug out from everything I've ever been believed in my entire life." Well, that's what chases a lot of people away. It means you got to just reassign your complete thought process to a whole new way of life and thinking. And a lot of people are scared of doing that.
Yeah,
so it's a fight or flight kind of thing.
Whenever I tell my people, it's sort of they just don't want to believe. They say, I'm not going to believe that because they're racist or they're bigots because they're sexist.
Yeah, they'll go ahead and they'll make excuses not to believe it because remember, it's a comfort zone for them. They'll run to that comfort corner. But the good news is this: we don't need them. It's always been a small group of dedicated people that have changed the course of history. As long as we become knowledgeable and act on that knowledge, we'll defeat these bastards because we outnumber them so much. So much.
Also, I was going to ask about potentates. Do you know what those are?
Freshman, no.
Well, you're talking about Shriners and things.
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Are they
different levels? Again, you can get in at the ground level. The more they kind of feed you. Well, if you want to know this information, they test you. There's always testing. There's always a test to rise up to that 33rd degree level.
Tell them about how
Well, my father
was a jester. He became a jester.
It's all influential people at a local levels. Just like I say, it's just different levels.
Yeah.
Isn't there some of it also to do to cover up their dirty money?
Oh yeah. I mean, again, there's different facets of things that they do. Because it's spread wide. It's spread wide. So, they might have you specializing in this part of the corruption or have you an agent in this. Because it's all compartmentalized. Another thing that's about what they do is the only ones that know what's really going on are the ones at the very tippy top.
Yeah.
Everything else is on a need-to-know basis. So they never let the right hand know what the left hand's doing, so they can keep control of what's going on.
And you don't think Trump is any way influenced, or you think he's on
I don't know. I mean, a question, but I look at his enemies, and being that he has so many enemies going against him, that you got to figure he's got to be possibly doing something right. I mean, one of the things he said that made me really perk up was one. He said, if you elect me president, you will find out who really brought down the Twin Towers. And I went, okay, what? Okay, let's go here. Let's see what happens. So, and then he said something just a couple of weeks ago when he was at one of his rallies. He goes, look, I knew this swamp was deep. I didn't know it was this deep.
Yeah, drain the swamp.
You know, so I getting into it, you got to play with the devil somewhat, you know, to get to that degree. I think he knows. I think they're afraid of him, and for a reason.
Because he's the president of the United States, so they can't really touch him.
I mean, they just
They can touch him. They killed Kennedy. Come on, they can do it.
Just take him out if they.
But he's got different levels of protection. He just doesn't have the regular protection. He's got levels of protection that people don't know beyond military. He definitely has a military.
Trump's got. I mean,
but he's got some private.
He got ready for it because he knew what was going to happen.
Absolutely. I mean, you got to remember the one thing that the powers that be don't have full control over is us. They keep on trying. I mean, if they ever get a cashless society, then they got us by the balls.
It's just great. Like I own rental houses in Memphis, low income,
right?
And it's amazing that they just dole out. It's control. I mean, we'll pay for your rent. We give you $800 a month rent. You don't have to work, and it's all just like because they can control.
That's what scares me about this whole Corona thing, because now they're just going to like. All right, here's some money to get you by, and so it's sort of like we're here to save you. Depend on the government. Look, we don't need the government. During Katrina, when I was here during Katrina, we didn't rely on the government for crap because they weren't here. It was us. We got together and we made it. So, we can get together and do this stuff. We have to talk to one another. We have to form our own little neighborhood militias, and we have to form our groups, find out who we can trust. We're going to pull it through. It's us.
So at what point, though, like, say when Trump's gone, I mean, at what point, does it go beyond Republican Democrat because they're controlling both those? I mean, the next Republican that comes through may be just as bad as the Democrats that come through.
Yeah,
right?
but a lot's going to happen in the next few years that's going to just upset everything.
So you think it's going to be like third party kind of thing?
I think we might stop relying on the federal government and the big parties altogether, and I think we're going to go back to more local. I think the state's going to gain more power, and I think local municipalities and local governments are going to gain more power. We're going to get back to us again. It's going to be us counting on one another. So we have, the old adage, all politics is local. It's real. And that's what we need to get back to, is being local.
How are they going to let go of that? That's going to be
because they only have the power we grant them. Yeah. Once we say that, no, screw you, I'm walking away from this. Once we say no, they only have the power that we grant them. Once we say, well, no, screw you. No, I'm not, no, go to hell, get out of here. What are they going to do? The sheriffs aren't going to. Who are the sheriffs going to go with? Us. Who are the National Guard going to go with? Us. Who's the military going to go with? Us.
Who's the president going to go with?
Well, it depends on the president. If it's this president, he's going to say, fine, take the power back.
What about Congress? What do you think?
They won't. Less and less. They're going to have less. People are going to not count on them. Who's going to count on them now?
Why can't they limit do term limits? That's the biggest.
Well, then you're asking a mafia guy to give up to put himself in jail.
But the president does he not have the power to?
No, it has to go through Congress. They have to cut off. They have to, I mean, these guys vote themselves the ability to go ahead and work the futures on the stock market, which would be illegal for us.
Yeah.
They vote themselves raises. What do you think they're going to stop?
You talk about power. The president have power. Congressmen have power.
Yeah, I mean, these people have, over time, that's why Thomas Jefferson said that from time to time, the tree of liberty must be watered by the blood of tyrants and patriots. And he suggested every 20-odd years that we have a revolution and clean these people out with blood. Well, obviously, we're well overdue.
Yeah.
So, because power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. The longer you let it go, and here's the problem with what we have. This has happened over and over again in democracies. We become successful. We have liberty. We become successful. Hey, we're having fun. Here, take my guns. I'm going to go have some fun. We give up the things that got us there to the powers that be. And then once the powers that be get it, they don't give it back. You have to take it back forcefully.
It's just like in Germany, like back in the 40s when Hitler was in there. The people, they voted for their rights to be taken away.
Thank you. Thank you. That's it.
Right now.
It's happened over and over again. People get comfortable, and we're victims of comfort. We wind up becoming comfortable, and we go, "Hey, we're having too much fun. Leave me. We take our eye off the ball, and once we take our eye off the ball, the powers that be go, yes.
What's the thing about, like, I was listening to one talk show guy, and I forget, but he said, subscribe to this. It's a documentary on the new Green Deal, where so a lot of this stuff is wrapped up inside this Green Deal about communism and how it's. I mean, what is that? I mean, it's more than just what's on the surface. It's layered into that whole thing.
I helped start the Institute for Environmental Alternatives in 1971. Professor Ron Cohn in L.A. So I lived with scientists for 3 years studying the environment. We knew while we were doing this that there would be government agents to come in and take what we were finding, try to politicize it. Lo and behold, a guy named Maurice Strong, look him up, Maurice Strong, political operative for their leads, said, "Ooh, this is good, we can use this. Okay, we're going to make carbon dioxide the enemy, because that's the one thing they can blame on us. Ooh, you produce carbon monoxide. You're carbon credits. You're polluting the earth." Well, carbon, CO2 is what? It's a natural element of life. We breathe it out, the plants breathe it in. But because they can blame us for our energy usage, what they can do? They can control our energy usage. They control the energy usage, they can control us. So the whole thing is bullshit. One volcano eruption will spew out more CO2 than we produce since the beginning of time. So it's crap.
Like, what do you think about like how everyone's saying the Earth's gonna climate change? What do you think about climate change?
It's bullshit. Climate's always changing.
It's like we've had the ice age, and then it's hotter, it's kind of colder.
Right. They were growing grapes in Northern Ireland in the 15th century. What would cause that? Cow farts? I mean, what? Look, you see the sky up here right now? 90% of the clouds up there are artificial. Earlier today,
you talking about that earlier.
Yeah, the chemtrails are going all over the place. We've been controlled. If you want to, all right, look up this: the history of weather modification weapons, or the history of weather modification. You will see documentation going back to 1891. Now, it'd be ludicrous to think that the military and governments or private entities wouldn't want to control the weather.
I mean,
we've been controlling the weather for decades. So with this, you can look up HAARP, geoengineering. Right now, you can get on your phone. You can hire a company so it won't rain on your wedding day. It might cost you $200,000, but you can do it. Well, if that's true, I mean, China bragged about making it snow for the Winter Olympics. It snowed so much they closed down Saigon. They bragged about a year ago about being able to make it rain over an area the size of France. They bragged about it. It was public. They bragged about it.
And no one thought of anything. Thank you, sir. Of it.
Quite welcome, sir. Thank you. Great shirt.
Also, what do you think about Area 51 and the Kennedy? Because isn't that connected, Kennedy and Area 51?
Well, there's a lot. Again, that's a whole nother rabbit hole that we can go down. I mean, there are guys that have 90% of the Grand Canyon has never been explored. It's closed to the public. They have found Egyptian mummies in caves in the Grand Canyon.
So you think the Egyptians were the first ones to explore America?
How do they get there? There's levels of the the museum. And
So does everything go back to the Egyptian? I mean, is that
a lot of it.
Like, do you think they've had technologies that they've hid for hundreds of years?
Sure, absolutely.
Like, do you think they hid boats and
Oh, yeah.
planes?
Well, in the movie Thrive, the documentary Thrive, we've had free energy technology for over 100 years. Nikola Tesla, funded by J.P. Morgan, came to Morgan with his inventions, and here it is. Here, free energy. Here's how we get energy out of the air.
And then
right? And Morgan went, well, where do we plug it in? Where's the meter? He says, no, they buy this and it runs forever. It gives you free energy. They burned down Tesla's laboratory and put him into obscurity. We have free energy. Non-polluting free energy. We have it.
But if we have that, we don't need them, right?
Again, control. If they can control our energy, if we had something we could put in that car, never pull into a gas station, would that free us up? If you never had to pay a light bill or heat bill, would that free us up? If we could irrigate a desert by putting this machine there, would that free us up? Does that make us free? Would we need them?
So another thing, like where does Putin come in and play into all this? Is he involved in?
Well, I don't know. I mean, he is trying to make Russia the capital of
He's trying to rule the world, right? I mean, that's what I feel like. I feel like he wants it all.
Isn't the whole?
I don't know if he wants it all.
He's the richest man in the world, they say.
I don't know about that.
Do you think he is separate from the deep state in America?
But there's good things, bad things, and I don't know where he really stands. Other than he's trying to make Russia the GMO-free farmland of the world. He doesn't take GMO foods. He's accepted a lot of farmers that are being chased out of South Africa. He says, come on here, but you got to grow non-GMO.
What does that mean?
Organic foods. He wants to become the organic capital of the world.
He wants to have the most surplus of that.
Yeah, because GMO foods is another way to control us. You understand that to keep us weak, why do they put fluoride in the water?
To keep us from living longer? Or
Well, what's fluoride?
You tell me.
Fluoride is one of the most toxic waste known to man. It's a byproduct of the aluminum and fertilizer manufacturing industry. There are laws against dumping it in the ocean, but they put it in our drinking water. Why?
To control us. To control the population.
It affects a pineal gland. It actually dumbs us down. Your IQ, they've done the test. Your IQ can drop as much as 20 points drinking fluoridated water.
So what do you do? What do you do about that?
I purify my water. I don't drink it.
You get like a purifier?
Yes, I use gravitated filters that...
Oh, what about bottled water? Is it got fluoride?
I don't trust that either. I would get... InfoWars sells a great gravity feed water purifier.
It takes all that out?
Takes it all out, leaves the minerals in. And once you start drinking pure water, I'm telling you, there are life changes. But yeah, they've done the studies, and so the whole and here's another thing. What do the government come in and say? Oh, we're going to put fluoride in water to fight Mr. Tooth Decay. Well, one, who the hell made the government dentists? And the Harvard Medical Science came out in 2012 and said, well, fluoride is a neurotoxin. In other words, if you're going to prescribe, if you're a doctor, you have to prescribe it. It's a neurotoxin. So it's a medicine. It's it affects your body. Well, what do doctors do? If they prescribe a medicine, what do? They ask, how do you feel? What's the dosage? Well, how do you dose something you're dumping in the water? If I'm out here in the sun all day and I'm drinking 3 gallons of water, I'm getting a lot more fluoride than someone who's drinking a half gallon.
Oh my fucking God.
Right?
Please don't listen to that.
Oh my fucking God! Is that the best argument you got, lady?
Best you can do is
Yeah, come on. Well, come over here and talk to me. Get over here and talk to me instead of coming with your stupid statement. I got stuff to back it up.
Do you have a degree?
Oh, you're going to wave your pigskin at me?
Do you have a degree?
You're going to wave your pigskin at
Do you
me?
have a degree? Do you have a degree in anything?
Oh, wonderful. That's the liberal talking. You're vulgar and mocking. Vulgar and mocking. That's it. You won't come over here and talk. You ain't got the balls to do it.
You don't know me.
Well, you certainly act like one.
You don't know me.
Walks like a duck, talks like a duck. I got to figure you're a duck.
Keep it up.
So, what does the government do? If they're not doctors, you got to prescribe it. And they can't control the dosage. Who are these people? Why do they? Was there any? Did we get to vote on them putting fluoride in the water?
They said that the government knows everything.
There was no vote on it. It's mandated that any municipality above 50,000 must put fluoride in the water or you don't get federal money.
It's about money and power.
Control.
Yeah, it's not about it's control. The money and the power come with control.
It's all about control. And they're obviously drinking a lot of fluoride.
Well, that's what's the funny thing is they say all they want, but when you want to actually debate them, oh well, that's not true. You're not true.
They think that a college degree will gives you education.
I meet a lot of educated idiots.
All it means is you were talking about liberal.
That's what. See, all these people, they won't argue. They want to argue. They want to say, "Oh, you're just racist." Oh, you're just.
Yeah.
They don't want to actually talk facts.
But I go to toe with professors out here, and I've turned them onto things they didn't know. I mean, I turned that FBI agent onto something he didn't know. I was talking to a retired FBI agent out here a little while ago, and I says, I gave him something about Barr's father, who introduced Jeffrey Epstein to Dalton College, where he started his pedophile blackmail ring with the CIA.
So that's what Jeffrey is. He gets like a
Yes.
Yeah, see, wasn't it his pedophile island? Didn't he bring all these politicians over there?
Yes. Bill Clinton, what we know of, went there 26 times.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. And they just want to say, oh, he saw. There's a photo of him and Trump at an event, and they're going to say, oh, they're best friends. Oh, he's a pedophile. Yeah. So you're going to say seeing them at an event versus going to his pedophile island. I mean, they want to make excuses.
Yeah. I mean, again.
So why was he killed? You think? I mean, he knew.
Well, we don't even know if he was killed. He could be tucked away somewhere. Yeah. I mean, why was he killed? Because he knows too much. If he was killed,
like all the cameras were off when.
I know. Happened. Well, I spoke to the FBI agent about that. I said, please explain to me this anomaly.
And all the officers were asleep.
Yeah.
Someone had to come in.
And someone else told me today that the computers for the guards, all of them were looking at vacations and motorcycles and
looking at what they're going to use that money that they just got given.
And do we ever see any movement on it? I mean, we hear about investigations. Do we ever see any?
Wasn't the case closed?
Yeah. They just I've talked to people that would give you an idea about Vegas, right? The Vegas massacre.
Oh yeah.
The concert you're talking about?
Yeah. The week that happened, I talked to five people out here that were in the concert, right there. Woman got her head blown off right next to them. Every one of them swore to me those shots came from ground level in different directions. I talked to a cop that was on duty that night. Said they got a call and it was attacks in casinos all down the strip. I talked to people that were in those casinos, and they said bullets were being shot into the casinos. They were ducking under things. Do we ever hear about this in the news? I can hear about it out here.
Cover-ups.
I said, the magnitude of the lies, so much that, again, people don't want to believe it. You're going to get people like that go, to scream at you rather than believe the lie. Because it's easier to believe the lie than to accept the truth.
And I was supposed to say, you know, like how the CIA, how they were involved in drugs?
Oh, yeah.
Like, weren't they like they were stopping drugs from coming into the board and they would take them and just distribute them?
Oh, yeah. Well, again,
It wasn't the biggest drug.
you know, every agency, when they gain power, and once they're not held accountable, you're going to get bad players in there, and of course, be infiltrated by the powers that be. And then they're going to go ahead and be able to, you know, to use those agencies to, you know, do what they want to do. They're not held accountable to us. They got black budgets that are insane. I mean, NASA's got the biggest black budget there is. We have no idea what the hell these guys are doing. Yeah, they can have bases on the back of the moon, and we don't know. I spoke to a guy yesterday that's studying to go into the Space Force.
Oh, yeah, we have a Space Force now, right?
We've had one. We've been shooting at each other up there for a while. We have it. These things exist already. I mean, anything we find about in the public is like 30 years.
We're just introducing it now.
Yeah.
To be amazed.
They're just wanting to let us get us used to it, you know, and what we're hearing. But all this stuff has already existed, man. It's already there. There's so many levels to this enormous amount of we're living in a bubble. We live in a complete bubble. We're living in this veneer here, this made-up atmosphere of crap.
Like snow globe. Like like they want to talk about the ozone, saying, oh, it's so bad. The ozone's literally repairing itself right now.
Yep.
People want to say, oh, climate change is so bad. How is it repairing itself? It's obviously getting better. I mean, it's always been good.
And oil fields are replenishing themselves. The Earth is like a oil-making machine. So, you know, remember when we were supposed to have peak oil? Oh, geez, peak oil. What was supposed to happen? What, 08? Okay, what happened? We're the energy capital. We got more energy. We produce more energy now out of the ground than ever.
Yeah, we're just finding out all the oil fields under the United States. We literally just found out about it.
Yeah.
We're saying, oh, we're running out.
And we don't even need it. As I said, we have free energy, but they use that because why? It's a $7 trillion a year industry.
They use it and they use it as free, and then they go say, oh,
Yeah.
so come pay for it.
Yeah.
But they won't tell you it's free energy.
Yeah. I mean, gas should be 10 cents a gallon for crying out loud.
Well, I mean, it's pretty low right now.
Oh, I know, because there's traffic and what. But, you know, I mean, and again, getting back to it, we don't even need it. I mean, oil should be used for, like, maybe cosmetics or something, or I don't know, asphalt or whatever. We don't even need it. But the real technologies were released. We'd be free.
What about all these people like you and people on the media? Like, what do you think? Like, why do you think y'all aren't getting targeted?
Oh, I am getting targeted. I've been doing this for
Like, have you been
8 years.
People ever
I
like,
should have 2 million followers. I can't get above 11,000. They keep on like
shadow banning?
Oh, sure.
Shadow ban, yeah. So I know this guy, like, he like buys his accounts that like a lot of followers, and right when he gets them, they shadow ban, he loses followers. It's just, it's all these people that Instagram, Google, all these places, they're all liberal.
Yeah, I mean, I've had videos taken down.
Yeah. Saying, this is fact check.
Yeah, I've had, one day I spoke to a professor from Harvard out here in economics.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, and I asked him, what is that going to do to us in 10 years? AI, robotic technology, right? And he says, well, the people walking around here, about 50% of them will be out of work.
What are we gonna do?
That's what I asked him. And I said, what are we going to do to all these out of work people?
Give them money. Welfare.
He looked at me and he said, in the past, we've killed them. Henry Kissinger called us the future food eater, useless food eater. The whole thing is about depopulation. They don't want us anymore. They don't need us anymore. You ever heard of the Georgia Guidestones?
Georgia, no.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. In 1974, this very tall, distinguished foreign gentleman walks into the Elberton Granite Factory in Elberton, Georgia. He says, I want you to build a monolith. I represent the most powerful people in the world. And on this monolith is going to be the 10 directives for the future of mankind. Here's the money. Right? It's still there. It's called American Stonehenge.
yeah.
Ford,
I researched this a
Yeah.
while back, but
18-foot stone,
in the middle of Georgia, just
Yeah,
a
right.
farm or something.
and in 8 different languages. It's got all the satanic things around it.
Did Deep say, isn't it satanic?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely satanic. And it's got in 8 different languages, carved in granite. The 10 directives. The number 1 directive is this: maintain the world's population at no more than 500 million in accordance with nature. The program is to get us down to that number by the year 2030.
What do we have now?
We have like 7, 8
Oh,
billion.
yeah, we got about 7 billion people.
And we say 500 million.
500 million. So 6.5 billion of us have to go by the year 2030.
The virus sounds like a good one.
Thank you. Well, Bill Gates,
Didn't he
Prince
start-
Philip said it. If you Google this and look at it, quotes on depopulation, you will see quotes from Kissinger, Prince Phillips, Bill Gates, all of them about depopulating the world. Ted Turner said that the best thing that could happen is a virus to get us down to that number. So they picked the year 2030 because these guys are into satanic numerologies.
So this is the same group as like the
Same ones.
Like, I heard Bill Gates, doesn't he have a patent on coronavirus?
Oh yeah, this guy, yeah.
See, I believe that he's part of Deep State. He's part of the depopulation.
Oh, absolutely.
He's part of like China. China wants to depopulate.
He didn't come out of a garage in Southern California. He's CIA funded. He was completely allowed to. His father was CIA.
Yeah, didn't he just dropped out of Microsoft, right? He stepped down. So I'm pretty sure he did.
Yeah.
But he's still part of it. But
Oh yeah, sure. He's
doing it to get publicity on.
Yeah, believe me,
separate himself.
yeah,
He's probably going to go live in like his secluded house for a couple years.
So what
come
all
back.
is this Georgia? Is it? Speak more on that Georgia Stones or whatever is it? I mean, it's just a.
Yeah, it did 10 directives of where they want to get us to by the year 2030. Look up the UN Agenda 2030.
The what?
UN Agenda 2030. Because it's coming out of the UN, all this. The first one is UN Agenda 21. UN Agenda 21 brings up the sustainability, how we have to, global warming, and how we have to become sustainable with nature, and the idea of putting us in city-states and not allowing us to go out and allow nature to just get back to normal. And when you listen to the elites, they always talk about how mankind are cancers. There are actually elites that say we all need to die, all of us, in order to Earth to be natural.
That we all need to die for them to be able to control everything.
They're just going to kind of start over. And
If you are part of their bloodline, then they're like, I don't like it.
Well, their whole idea is to have like that Elysium deal, like the Hunger Games, right? They live in those luxury towers, and then we're out there in the fields, they get us controlled. It's like the Hunger Games. You got to remember the things they project in these sci-fi, it's all projection. They tell us what they're going to do. through the sci-fi movies, through all of it, through their books.
Here's what I look at it. It's like I'm in rental and I get government money. Just from the past 5 years, how things have like, I'm cash.
Right.
And everybody gets money on a card now. Even I go to the bank now, and there's like no one. Everything's on a computer. They want everything paperless. Like, I mean, when cash will be here.
I have a friend of mine that went to. He doesn't have computers, credit cards, anything. He went to he called up to find out about a bus fare, right? He said, "Well, it'll be $85, right?"
I just stopped and turned around.
And so, okay. The guy says, "You want to do your credit card?" "No, I'm going to come down and pay cash." He goes down to the bus station, $110. He says, "Wait, you told me 85. Yeah, but you're paying cash. You're being penalized. We're going paperless. You're being penalized for paying cash."
I think they take less cash over credit card.
No, they want to know what everybody has.
If they get us to a cashless society, electronic, they got us by the balls. I mean, then with the 5G coming in, oh,
And they can basically tell you what your money's worth and what it's not worth at that point, because they can.
By then it's
this information by Parsa was alleged. Keep that too. Did I give you one of those yet?
Yes.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
I got it in my pocket.
This information was allegedly given to Trump by Parsa. Look at that. That's about the 5G, 6G coming in.
Oh yeah, weren't you talking about her to the woman about Wuhan, about the 5G stuff in Wuhan?
Well, what this is, when you look through there,
Type stuff? You talking about 5G? What do you mean 5G?
5G is the next phase of the internet power, like
Okay.
with the
like cell phones and the speed.
Yeah, right.
technology.
This, how the Wi-Fi connects to our computer, this technology is strong enough to connect with our individual brain frequencies
Oh yeah, I was gonna.
and go directly into our brain.
So they can.
Do you know what STEM is, right?
Yeah.
So my STEM teacher, she tells us about how there are planes. They're gonna control like how we do planes with our minds. Like if you want to turn, you just think.
It's in there. That was one of the scariest books I've ever read, right there. I mean, how do you, and everything's going to micro war now, too. I mean, how do you defend against things like that?
Yeah.
You got 1 million of these let loose with facial recognition technology that can fly out and then land on you and inject you with a poison that will kill you in an hour.
Like, what about? Do you think about the like? I think it was Kennedy. How like he killed all the birds and made them.
Yep.
You think that's real?
Oh, sure.
Do you think
They got, believe me, they got, when you hear about all these birds falling out of the sky and whatnot, this is hard technology and different things that they go ahead and try. Hard technology has the ability to go, look at that, how you can defend against that? They release 1 million of those of facial recognition.
They put like little guns on it and shoot.
Oh, well, Turkey has armed their drones with 50 caliber machine guns. How do you defend against that?
Can you gotta go into like so do you know
See, I mean, at some point, it's just
do you prep?
Everybody, you're going to kill everybody.
So like are you
That's what they want. Again, it's all about getting rid of us. They don't need us anymore. The only reason the elites have kept us around this long is they needed slave labor. With the advent of AI and robotic technology, what do they need us for?
it's once they get all this stuff, it's like up in Antarctica. They have the largest seed. You know that it's like a bunker with all these seeds and the entire. Yeah, but once they kill us all of us off, they're just gonna go plant these seeds and they're gonna replenish full of stuff for the rest of their lives, the rest of the generation.
I have talked to truckers. Truckers that have driven their semis from Denver to Maine completely underground.
What?
Underground. Passing cities underground. Farms underground.
How? It's underground.
Where do you think all these? Do you think when they sell a hammer for $900 or $2,000 toilet seat, you think that toilet seat really costs $2,000? All that money's going to secret projects. They have the underground cities. They have we aren't going to be invited. But you can get on the internet if it's still up. You can get on the internet and see these underground highways. Truckers put cameras on their dashboards. Miles and miles and miles they're going. Kansas City this way, that way. And you're driving through these underground tunnels, underground for miles.
Yeah, it's like about that military base that was made back in the World War II. It was like in the mountain, like we're playing in underground. We're playing.
Cheyenne Mountain exists. It's there. Cheyenne Mountain is real.
And they shut it down.
It's not shut down.
Yeah, they shut it down.
Yeah.
They destroyed it. They didn't destroy it. They still use it.
These things are as real as death. And this is why it's coming to a head, because 2030 is the target date.
That's they said 2030 for the end of the world, right?
That's again, they throw it out there. What did AOC say? Well, we only got 10 years to live. We only got 10, 12 years. When she first got 12 years, what did that bring us to? 2030. See, they throw it in our face.
So they make it sound like it's.
They blame it on something else.
What am I saying?
They blame it on the people.
Global warming. Yeah.
They call it global warming, but it's really.
It's really just.
No.
No, Peter Street is that one.
They blame it on.
Wait, I know what the hell it is. That's these guys in there.
They try to blame it on us.
Yeah.
So we have to go try to fix it for them when really we're just helping them get more power.
Yeah.
We're fixing everything for them so that they can when they get rid of.
Right.
Also, I was gonna ask, do you do prepping
Absolutely.
like guns?
Yeah.
Like I've seen people they get bunkers in just in case.
I know guys that have been getting ready for this for 33 years. They've hollowed out mountains they could live in for 20 years and not stick their head out.
Mountains? They go buy property with mountains on them?
Yeah. I know guys that have hollowed out mountains that they're ready for, they could take, they could take 2,000 people down there and live for 20 years.
And I bet they're not inviting anyone because they're like,
oh, hell no. They don't open up their
if
mouths.
you come in here, then you're going to kill.
They don't open up their mouths. But why would you broadcast that?
Exactly. So you probably sent me in.
Oh, well, I don't give a shit. I'm 73 years old. What am I going to do? You're there. What are they going to keep me for?
It's people like him that.
Yeah. I mean, could I go in and maybe educate? But then what education I give when it had already happened? I'm just going to fight, as long as I can stand.
Okay, so why do you think that people, a secret society doesn't rise up and go after these?
Scared of deep state.
Deep state. I mean, why can't they be overtaken? I mean,
well, that's where guys like.
You think that
like
really
guys like Trump?
I mean, people could rise up and say, "Listen, this is over. Deep state is over with."
Well, that's where guys like Foster Gamble have rebelled against it. You do have people that are in that elitist that are going, no, I'm not going there.
It's going to when it's going to be a power struggle, and
because it's a power struggle going on now.
But I'd say when it really gets the time, there's people at the top that
are fighting.
There are people already being assassinated.
Yeah, but I mean, it's going to be like, listen, one saying we're doing it, another saying we're not, and it's going to be power. Big
yeah. I mean, when the whole crap hits the fan, it's we all know it.
I want to know what happens when all these older people like Soros and. What happens when they die?
Soros' son is just as bad as he is.
It's a bloodline. There's a bloodline.
Yeah.
But you don't think some of the bloodlines would go against this? You think they would?
They have. Again, some of them do, some of them don't. But a lot of psychopaths breed psychopaths.
Yeah, when you're that powerful, you want to keep.
When you're that powerful, I mean, there's no point in giving it up.
Very few of them are going to be, the Foster Gambles and say, well, no, I'm fighting this. You just don't find that. Most people find themselves in a comfort zone and go, I'm part of I'm going to live forever.
Yeah, when you're at the top of the food chain, why?
Yeah, and they're lied to. You can remember these people are lied to. Because they really believe. You listen to the Ray Kurzweils and the futurists, right? They actually believe they're going to integrate, in that book, like integrate themselves with computers
And live forever.
and live forever.
So that's like how they're going to live forever. There's no like.
Yeah, they believe they're going to become gods.
Do you think like they're like they take something for them to live longer and longer and longer, or do you think it's just
No, they have their own medicines that'll do that. But they're not gods. They're frail. They're human beings. It's not gonna work. Read the Bible. We win in the end. Whatever they do is going to fall apart.
the Rome?
You gotta remember, these people are sick. They don't see their own destruction. All they see is power.
Success.
Yeah. They are not capable of emotion to feel empathy for other people.
They feel empathy for themselves.
Yeah, they're like, there's a screw missing in them. They don't care. I mean, 1 out of every 25 people has been shown are psychopaths. So, they're going to find a lot of minions to go along with them. Psychopaths don't care what color you are, what religion, you profess to be, what ethnic group you belong to. It's just if you're with us.
Like, how far back do you think you can take this back in America? Like, do you think it was started before the United States was started?
Oh, yeah, hell yeah. I mean, before the ink was dry in the Constitution, they've been trying to, take us down.
Well, why? Well, then, why would they give us the Second Amendment? Why would they give us the Fifth Amendment? They're trying to take us down.
Because we rebelled. Not all were bad. We did this. This was a brick in the wall against them. Before us, every other government was basically, ruled by the elites, ruled by the power structures.
They tax.
Right. We came along and said, nope, we're going to try something new.
Like, we were rebelling against 2% tax. We said that was unbelievable, and now we're like, we got 40. We won 50% tax. We've lost all sight. We've lost sight. We haven't lost sight. Other people have.
Yeah, but again, we go back to a small group of dedicated people. The hell with the majority of the people have really never, decided anything. I mean, again, go back to the American Revolution. When it first started, 3% started out at its height. 12% beat the British Empire. The other 88% were going, what the hell, whatever.
Do you know anything about QAnon?
Yeah, of course.
Well, buddy, we're in green light go.
Yeah, well, let's hope so.
Listen, it said today, Q said done in 30. Now listen, if you count it up from the day yesterday when he declared national emergency, count it up, it's 4/10/20. DJT.
All right, let's hope so. We need to see it.
What's that?
He's talking about QAnon and how, again, we're talking about the numerology, the numbers, and how, QAnon has set dates to go ahead and start the clampdown when things are start being released. All right.
It's
I don't know.
Released. What do you mean?
Well, where we start indicting some of the deep state.
depopulation.
Where we actually start taking some of the deep state down.
Us taking them down.
Yeah.
Like, isn't Trump part of the QAnon?
The QAnon is the group that are going against the deep state, you're saying?
Well, allegedly.
What's it called?
QAnon.
Is it like
QAnon.
a secret society?
QAnon.
Secret society.
QAnon is allegedly a group of insiders in the government, generals and other players
more military
that
people?
are against the what's happening, what they know is going on, and are planning the takedown of the elites and the deep state. Now, I don't, if they're anonymous, so I take everything they say with a grain of salt too. And I don't know if they're there to placate us, because for a long time they've been saying this, and this is going to happen. And this, and this didn't happen. Or only partially happened. So are they just, another thing is like the powers that be will put up false fronts to keep us placated so we don't actually rebel.
So they want us to rely on them to rebel, but they won't.
And yeah, and it's sort of like the carrot on the stick.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We're going to take care of it. Just don't worry about it. With the
So this could be
follow the plan.
This could be something the government made up to.
Yeah, well,
keep
not
us-
the government, but the
Elitists.
The elitists.
The
To just
elitists,
say, "Oh, don't
it's
look."
like deep state, but the people against the deep state.
Yeah, and now I'll be pleasantly surprised if indeed we do start seeing some people taken down.
Hopefully.
It's like I talked to that FBI agent who said, excuse me, man, we've seen people commit crimes that they've admitted to. That they've admitted to. They've admitted to. Yeah, we spied on them. Yeah, I had a private server in my thing.
Like Jeffrey Epstein, like he literally, this reporter had the whole story on him about him raping all these kids.
Yeah.
But CNBC, I think,
Right.
They didn't even air it.
Because they're part of it.
They control the mainstream media.
Yes, they
Mainstream
own
media
it.
controls everything.
You're going to remember, again, Fox News,
They
right?
control Fox News too.
Of course they do.
Because like I say, I've been watching it lately. It's like, I mean, if you're gonna watch one, that's one to watch. But you watch it, you're like, golly, are they even?
Look, half the commercials of Fox News are what? Pharmaceutical companies. So if a pharmaceutical company, which are extremely powerful, comes out with a vaccine that kills 2,000, 20,000 people, do you really think Fox News is going to report on it? Thank you.
It's just like back during Prohibition, the government killed 10,000 people by poisoning alcohol.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
And what are drugs? Why? Listen, where's the amendment to outlaw drugs? Where is it? They needed an amendment to outlaw alcohol. Where's the amendment to outlaw drugs?
what do you mean drugs, like pharmaceutical drugs?
Any drug. No, any drugs. Any marijuana, pot, any drug. Where is it? There is no amendment.
Wasn't it the
So who are they to say what we can put into our body? It's about control. Yet, even though they have all these laws against drugs proliferate. Why? They make money off of it. They make money off of it on the front end and the back end, the prison systems, the fines, the control they can have, making us all criminals. Look, this is what they should do. Educate you to what every drug does. In school, they said, here's a speed freak. Tell them what this did to you. And then when you get to be of age, if you want to go do meth, here, you dumbass, get yourself out of the gene pool as quick as possible. You have the right to know what you put in your body. No government agency should be telling you what to put in your body. If you want to kill yourself, kill. You want to go snort Drano, go snort Drano, you dumbass. Yet, they make it illegal. Why? Yet they still control it. Who's running the drugs? The CIA. Who put the drugs in the damn in the neighborhoods? The FBI. They control this stuff. So they make money by bringing it in. Hell, they own the damn. You look at who owns the damn poppy fields. It's some politicians own the damn poppy fields. We had troops guarding the poppy fields in Afghanistan. We run the drugs.
Yeah.
They should educate the people what the drugs do and then say if you want to go do them, you dumbass. But it's the education that starts out. That's what should be. But there's no right for the government to tell you what you can put into your own body. That's your business. So they needed an amendment to outlaw alcohol. Where's the amendment to outlaw any drug? It should have gone through Congress. The only drugs that should be outlawed are those that harm someone else. Like giving you, for instance, devil's breath. Devil's breath is a drug that hypnotizes other people. In other words, it's the zombie drug, like the date rape drug. You know, you plop it in, the woman becomes like comatose. You rape her, she wakes up, she doesn't have a memory of it. So any drug that harms another person that you wouldn't take yourself, because devil's breath, I could go blow it in your face, and then 15 minutes later I'm going, let's go empty out your bank account. Oh, okay. And you'd go empty out the bank account. You give it to me. That should be outlawed.
There is a drug like that?
Oh, absolutely. There was a movie made about it. It's the zombie drug. The one that you go down to Haiti, they talk about the zombies. That's what it is. They make it out of belladonna. And as a matter of fact, the plant grows wild around here. And you can make it. And it's that's something you wouldn't take yourself. Yeah. So that should be outlawed. That any drug that you put into you that you want to do, that should not be outlawed. You should just be intelligent enough to know what to put into your body.
It's like, you think like Pablo Escobar, that was definitely, you think he was part of the deep state too?
Of course he was.
I mean, he controlled Colombia.
There isn't a cartel guy alive that isn't connected to the CIA. They could not exist. The banks could not exist without the cartels. The major banks could not be in business without the drug money.
It's like Obama, he bailed out all the banks. Those people in the banks were making $20 million a year.
Yeah, they're the crooks.
And all of us.
You want to get to it? Those are the biggest crooks. Yeah, those are the head. Hey, it was a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
And our head is too large.
Yeah. Now, Bill Cooper was pre-Alex.
You were just telling them about the Barack Obama?
Yeah. Dreams from My Real Father. And that's an, a autobiography of, unauthorized autobiography.
Yeah. So what about the Pale Horse?
Bill Cooper was the original Alex Jones, as you were. And he was the one exposing originally the deep state. And he wrote Behold the Pale Horse, which exposes the original deep state. He is extraordinary. He knew they were going to kill him. And they did. I mean, they came out and they shot him to death. And he predicted it, and it's what happened.
Okay, so do you think people come over and talk to you,
Oh, I know I've had spooks out here to check me out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you think they're watching you every day?
Of course. If I was a CIA, well, they're watching all of us. For one, they're watching all of us.
Like you spreading information, I'm sure they come by and check on you and see what you're.
They don't have to. They probably subscribe to my channel.
I'm saying,
As a matter of fact, they probably subscribe to my channel to check on the people I'm talking to.
Yeah. I know. I told him, I was like, you got to be careful what you look up on the internet, probably.
Everything. You have no idea the amount of surveillance that's going on. Like one time, a girl said, I hear they're going to put chips in us. I said, why do they need that? You just paid $800 for that thing you got in your hand. It tells them where you are, tells you what you bought, what your temperature is, what the temperature around you is. It tells you everything they need to know about you and more than you know about yourself. I mean, the amount of surveillance they have is insane, and it's only going to get more so when they put in the 5G and the total surveillance network.
So that's everybody thinks 5G is a good thing. 5G is not a good thing.
No. Well, Trump is organizing there's 5G and then there's 5G. See, everything has a counterbalance to it. And so, but overall, this is like a rush towards insanity is what it is. It's a rush towards us just putting ourselves in an electronic cage. We don't need bars, we're putting ourselves in the cage. I mean, look at all the tech giants, right? They don't. Their kids don't use computers. They read books. They do longhand.
Yeah.
There's areas. There's one in West Virginia I know of. It's I think it's 148 square miles. And as you're driving into it, the signs are up, no cell phone coverage. There's no electronics whatsoever.
They're just dumbing us down.
And that's where all the elites are rushing to into these zones where there's absolutely no electronics whatsoever, like computers or cell phones.
And you have to use your mind.
Yeah, yeah. And then I say to you can see. I've talked to truck drivers that have driven from Maine to Colorado underground. They have underground cities. It's insane what's going on. It's absolutely nuts.
I got to catch my wife, but
it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you very much. God bless you too.
Yeah. You got anything you want to ask?
I was gonna about like the Nazis and how after they were stopped, like didn't they? I read something about how they came over here.
Project Paperclip.
Yes.
Yeah, we didn't defeat the Nazis. We just moved them into over here, and then set them up in secret bases here. That's what we did. I mean, von Braun was a Nazi. I mean, he was the head of our missile program.
And they're part of NASA and stuff.
Oh yeah, it was all Nazis.
Yeah, it wasn't like about 1,000 German scientists just were brought
More
over here.
than that, there were 36,000 different from intelligence agencies and scientists and everything, and we put them into our government.
I gave them citizenship and everything.
Everything. We hit them. We opened up secret labs for them to keep their experiments up on humans.
Was it mind control that they?
Absolutely.
It was like
Everything.
I forgot what the operation was called. It was like
MK Ultra.
Yes.
Yes, which Clinton had to apologize for. But MK Ultra is just one of the programs.
Hey, he's 50. How old are you? 14 years old.
And he's brilliant. And he's brilliant. I know. He's brilliant.
Teaching this always.
I know. God bless, man. God bless. Yeah, I ran into another young guy, 22 years old. He knew about Bill Cooper. He was like blowing my mind because he knew 90% more than 100% of these people out here that walk around. So, so God bless you, brother. You're the future. Good.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
8th grade, 14 years old. Just kept on getting amazed by that through this. Well, let's just pray that we get somewhat back to a semblance of what this country was a month ago. Because we were doing pretty good. And now we find ourselves not so good. The new abnormal. God bless you. Hope to see you on the streets.